Awesome. Okay, it is 6 o'clock. So why don't we go ahead and call to order the March 4th, 2021 City of Saugatuck Historic District Commission meeting. We will start with a call to order and roll call. Cindy, would you help me with that, with the verbal roll call?
Leo?
Here.
Davenport?
Here.
Canarsa? Canarsa? I'll come back to you. Lewis?
Here.
Patterson?
Here.
Straker?
Here.
And Pinozo.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Marcia here.
There you go. All right, thank you. Item number 2, are there any agenda changes or additions or deletions today? Nope. Hearing none, we'll move to the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting February 4th, 2021. Did everyone have a chance to review those? And if so, does anyone have a move to approve them or revise them?
Patterson moves to approve the minutes from February 4th, 2021.
Thank you. That was Patterson. Is there a second?
Second. That's Garn.
Garn, thank you. We'll do a verbal roll call. All in favor signify by saying yes. Leo?
Yes.
Canarsa?
Yes.
Pinozo?
Yes.
Patterson?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Davenport?
Yes.
And Straker is a yes. Motion carries. Are there any public comments today? Okay. Is there any unfinished business today?
Alex
Could I?
has his hand up.
Oh, sorry, Alec, I didn't see you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Tim. My name is Alec Paleitner, owner of Grow Cafe and Bistro at 302 Culver Street. My residence is 6688 126th Avenue in Fenville. And I just want to read this real quick concerning agenda item 6A, a door replacement for 302 Culver Street. First and foremost, thank you to the Cindy and the commissioners for making this last minute addition to the agenda this evening. My sincere apologies for my own ignorance in the necessary approval process. It won't happen again. Concerning the door replacement at Grow, I'd like to first address the previous door, one we inherited from Monroe's in 2016. Without too much minutia and to use the language of section B of the local guidelines, the door was beyond deteriorated. Both the frame and the door are not suitable for use. Concerning the proposed replacement door, one issue is that of material. The previous door, as mentioned in tonight's packet, was not the original door. This was before my time, so I can't speak to how that came to be. That being said, the most recent door was wood, and the proposed replacement door is fiberglass. On a daily basis, that door is opened at least 1,000 times. The weight and durability of the fiberglass door are of strong consideration. Another issue is that of aesthetics. Since the picture taken in the packet, the recent door was painted black at the request of both my landlord and the suggestion of a designer. In accordance with that aesthetic decision, the proposed replacement door and corresponding trim, which was replaced to match the previous trim, will also be painted black upon hopeful approval. The full-length glass of the previous door is also in place in the proposed door, and the installation of the proposed door frame was custom fit to the same opening of the outer block and brick construction. I hope this clarifies and relieves any concern. And again, thank you for the last minute consideration as we prepare to open for the 2021 season in early April. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Alec. So everything that you just said, I'm gonna mentally cut and paste if everyone could do the same, and we will attach that to new business item 6A. So Alec, that this was a public comment category for anything that's not on the new business agenda, but your comments are spot on for the agenda item. So we won't make you go through that again. So thank you for that. And we may come back and ask a couple questions when we get to that item. Is there any unfinished business that we didn't hit, Cindy?
Nope.
Nope. Okay. In that case, we'll go right ahead and go to new business, 2 applications. The first is 302 Culver, which Alec just did a wonderful recap in terms of his intersection on kind of what's been done already and the why behind what's been done. So this is a contributing property. The description's in our packet. I think from Alex's description, it's clear that in error there was, work progressed without filling out an application. He's since done so. The door is there now that we're talking about. So I won't go on about that, Cindy. I don't know if you have anything else to add, or if anyone would like for Alec to add any more. For Alec and Frank both, and for anyone else on the call, just a little recap of how commission meetings work. We do an overview of the application. We hear from you if you have anything to add that's not in the packet, which Alec already did. And then I will ask commissioners to weigh in with any perspective, any questions, any clarifying questions individually. Don't be alarmed. An individual comment or question doesn't constitute a vote. It just is an opinion. And then we'll chat about that around the table with you, and then we'll vote on that at the end as a commission. So with that as a process set, Cindy, anything else to add on the application?
Yeah, I do have a couple of things to add. Hopefully you all got the photo that Mr. Patterson so carefully dug up, and shows the door about 1930 approximately. And then Aaron, if you go to the first page of the memo, it shows the most recent door that was there before. If you go to the next page, it shows two different colors of what looks like the same door. A red one was 2008 and the blue door was 2012. So there were other doors previously to the most recent one. So it's not a replacement of an original door, it's a replacement of a replacement of a replacement. So having said that, that's about all I have to add to what Alec had to say. And just to let you know, he was absolutely horrified that he didn't follow the right process. It was not willfully neglectful or something trying to pass the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you saying that. Great, thank you, Cindy. I'm going to go ahead and just go around the virtual room. Mr. Pinozzo, do you have any clarifying questions or comments?
Not at this time.
Okay. Jennifer, any clarifying questions or comments?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to go by, I meant to go by today. What materials are the windows on either side of the door? Are those aluminum? I don't remember. The existing windows.
The bays.
The bay windows, yeah. Alec?
I think they're aluminum, if I recall.
I
They're not-
believe so as well.
They're
yeah.
not wood. That's
Not wood.
Definitely not. They're not wood, no.
okay. That was really my only question. I understand what Alex said. That door is it gets really heavy use. I understand the need for a stronger material rather than a wood door. It's not a huge door.
Okay.
So yeah, those are my only comments.
Okay, thank you. John, any clarifying questions or comments?
Can we put the guidelines up again?
They're toward the back of this memo, Aaron.
My screen, I can't get to it. So, okay, there you go. So there's nothing in there about materials. That was my only question, but I'm not seeing anything. The rest of the building has storefront windows. I think every other business to the right has metal storefront matching doors. That's what it looks like. So
I think the materiality comment, yep, the materiality comment would probably be the match original and material design, dimension, proportion, reflective qualities, sash, stuff like that.
okay.
Mhm.
Well, the original, if we flash back to that picture, was more single divided, though it didn't have divided light. Obviously the windows changed.
Mhm.
Windows still don't have divided light. Interestingly, the transom had divided light way back then, but now it doesn't. So those are my comments. I would have thought something like this was more in keeping than a divided light fiberglass door. And I was looking at the guidelines to tell me if what's there now is acceptable.
So I guess I would jump in on that and say, yes, I love this. I love this photo because it shows the originality of what that building was. There is a, I think to be literal, the applicant could do a like as application, and the like as is a non-original because it was a non-original door. So technically that door could be replaced with, if it's a wood door with the divided light, like shown in the Monroe photos, the red one or the blue one, you could replace it to that, which isn't original, which I don't know solves anything. So you're right, John, in your comments to go back to that original door, but technically I think the way we usually interpret guidelines is at some point this has been altered. So we would be going from the last door in terms of interpreting guidelines versus going back to the original. Would I love to see the original full divided light? Yes. But I think we should be clear about what was there first, would be the one comment I would mention. Anything else, John?
No.
Yeah, Cindy?
And we don't really know what the red and the blue door are, if they're fiberglass or wood. We don't have any idea.
Right. Okay. Keith, any clarifying questions or comments?
Just that I was, when I found this photograph from 1930, I was struck by the symmetry. And the only thing that I have a little bit of a problem with is the divided lights on the door itself. If you look at the size and proportion of the windows before they put the bays in, and the transom lights and the door lights and the balance that you see there, if you turn the clock back, it's great execution. And I know that this is kind of after the fact, but if I ruled the world, I would make it look like this again. And what's interesting about this building is if you go to the left side, what's interesting about that photograph, if you zoom in on the left side, there's a car inside. And then if you go to the left side of the building, there is what used to be probably a large garage door or a hinge door where they wheeled vehicles in and out. And it's quite spectacular when you start looking at the details. But it sounds like this is a little bit after the fact. And if I had anything that said, if Alec came in with this before he had already put the door in, I think the big thing that I have the problem with is the divided lights in the door, because this view gives it, like I said, symmetry. And if somebody had a couple of gas pumps, that would finish this whole thing off.
That would be right where his tables are.
It's a beautiful building. It really is.
My guess would be that Alec does not have a gas pump up his sleeve.
And then if you zoom in, there's the little fill spigots on the sidewalk to the left there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's two spigots where they would put the fuel in for the gas pumps, and then two different gas pumps. But that's just me going on. Relative to the door, sounds like it's been hacked up forever. The bump outs on the bay windows are, about the same. It's been remodeled, but that's just life in the big city. But the only one I would say relative to the door is if we could get rid of divided lights, that would be a wonderful thing.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Nico, any clarifying comments or questions?
Aaron, could you put the proposed door back up, please? Yeah, I agree with everybody. I mean, Alec, if you could go without those divided lights and maybe do like something similar to what was there, that would be better. But I guess that would be if you could do it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I would like to see that happen though.
Okay, thank you, Nico. Garn, I think you're the only one I haven't.
Yep. Nope. I have no further comment.
Can I go back, Tim?
Sure.
So the fact that the door is going to be black is going to really cover these up a little bit if they stay. But a lot of these door manufacturers, I don't know who this one is, they make that whole, I don't know if those are attached or not. Sometimes that, is on, it's not a snap-in, it's permanent, and there's one on each side. And that framework around it usually screws in, and you can take that off on some of them and replace it with one without divided light. So
Correct. So
this one can't be cut because you can see how the verticals and horizontals go right into the framework, but a frame could be put up that doesn't have the divided light with it, maybe. But the fact that it's going to be black will help cover it up a little bit. So
yep.
those are my only comments. It won't read as quite as busy as it does right now.
I think the only thing I would add that hasn't been said is part of what because this is a whole street face. The entire building is historic, and it is sort of a storefront aesthetic. But I think because of the alterations to the grow side of this big building, you kind of have to look at the grow side alone. And those bays aren't original. It has been significantly altered. I agree with John that if it's painted out, it sort of goes away. The door that in this photo that we're looking at is not original either, and it's super prairie style and not right. So the fact that there's bays there, the fact that the bays are dark, if this door was dark, I'd prefer it not to have divided light either, but I'm super, super happy that it doesn't have sandwich grids, because that would be really, that would just scream, it's just been added. So, I agree with John. I'd love for the grids not to be there, but if that, the next best thing would be for it to just be painted out black. Does anyone else have any comments or questions? Or Alec, do you have anything else to weigh in before I call for a motion?
I don't. Just thank you very much for your comments.
Okay. Would someone like to make a motion? I'm happy to make one.
Well, I will.
Okay.
I move to approve the application to replace the door at 302 Culver Street as submitted.
All right. Is there a second?
A second.
Thanks, Nico. Is there any other conversation or discussion? All right. Then we'll call for a verbal vote. All in favor signify by saying yes. Nico,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Garn,
Yes.
Canarsa,
Yes.
Penozo,
Yes.
Patterson,
Yes.
and Stryker is yes. Motion carries. There you go. Thanks for coming in and working with us, Alec. We sure do appreciate it.
Where'd he
Thank you,
go?
Tim.
Oh, hey, Alec. Alec, are you, let me ask you a quick question so I don't have to text you. Are you painting that
Yes.
yourself, or are Fred's painters coming back?
I'm trying to get Fred. I think Fred lost touch with his guys, but he's working on it for me. Unless,
you-
do you know who they are?
You have the color, it's not black, it's a brown black.
Well, I'd have him match it or whatever it is. Yeah, Fred's working on it for me. So
Good.
Cool.
thanks,
All
John.
right. Thank you. We will move to the second agenda item, which is 147 Water Street. Cindy, would you like to give us any sort of overview in addition to what's been stated here in the application? Or
This is a metal gazebo, aluminum, I believe, that was previously approved by the board a couple of years ago, and that application expired because the work didn't get done. So it's exactly the same, in the same location. It's all on private property. It's not in the right of way, and it meets all the zoning requirements. So that's about all I have to add.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Frank, anything else to add to the application?
Hey, Dad, you got something to say? Unmute.
I
Still
can see
can't
you
hear you,
talking.
Dad.
There you go. Oh, no.
Still got nothing, Dad.
He is unmuted, but I think his audio might not be working.
Okay,
But
we will.
I think I see his lovely assistant Peggy sitting right there. On our homepage is the phone number to call in to the Zoom if you want to dial in from a phone.
Okay, so this application is basically a re-up of a previous application, correct?
That is correct. We applied for it 2 years ago, and we decided against doing it until last fall. We decided we were going to go on it again, and I think you have all the pictures, and I do have a video of the rendering that I gave to Cindy also. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be beautiful.
Okay.
It is metal. There will be fans inside, and then we'll be able to heat it in the fall.
Great. Let me just go around the room to see if anyone.
And it does cover when it rains. It's electronic. It'll cover when we have bad weather. So the pergola itself will seal up. So.
Frank, you may have the distinction of having the first infographic motion graphic video in our application. Kudos to you on that. Thanks to the magic of Zoom. I'll go around the room and see if anyone has any questions. Keith, any clarifying questions or comments?
No.
Karn,
No, this is lovely.
Jennifer,
No, I loved it the first time. I can't wait to see it.
Dan,
No.
John,
No, love the simplicity. It's beautiful.
Nico.
Nope, I liked it the first time too.
Okay. Did I catch everyone? I think I did. Does anyone like to make a motion?
Sure, this is Garn. Move to approve application P-HIS-17029, installation of a 20 by 24 foot aluminum pergola with a canvas awning to cover the barrier-free design ramp at Morrow's.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Thank you, John. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes with a verbal roll call. Garn,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nico,
Yes.
and Straker's a yes. Motion carries. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing that project come to be a reality.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Council. See you in 2 weeks, Dad.
All right, we'll move on to administrative approvals. Looks like a couple there. Cindy, any color commentary?
There's just two. 64 Griffith came to you previously with a replacement of the decking on their deck that faces the Water Street side. And we wanted more information because we didn't know how the decking would look. Their builder came back to me with the original drawing, and they're going to put the decking back with the same material and the same pattern that it exists and it will be wood for wood. And they do have to add a beam underneath to support the deck because it was not properly constructed in the first place. And it was causing the deck to sag and break its seals at the tongue and groove joints, letting water drip through to the cars below. So we did that administratively. And then 125 Water Street, oh no, that's not right, I'm sorry. 40 Butler Street, Stephen Phelps came to me. He wants to extend the guardrail in front of the steps for additional outdoor seating. It will be the exact same kind of guardrail that's there now, and that is a non-contributing structure. So we went ahead and administratively approved that as well.
Great, thank you. And I did see that one.
I have a question.
Okay.
The house on Water and Lucy, that's on the water, is there an administrative approval to replace the roof?
Water.
They ripped off the roof a couple days ago.
It's
The big house on the water with the cedar.
The big shingle one, yeah.
is it across the street from Lucy or is it
No, it's
So it's
on-
across from Laura Durham.
Yeah, it's on
Across from
Laura-
Mill Pond.
across from Mill Pond.
Oh, I don't remember seeing that and I am at home, so I cannot look it up, but I will make a note in my minutes to look it up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I give somebody a permit, or, I give administrative approval and it takes 4 or 5 months for them to do the actual project.
Yeah.
So I don't remember doing it recently, but I'll look it up.
Okay,
Looks like cedar. They were doing it with cedar. I noticed it too.
Yeah, I think wasn't it cedar before?
It was, yeah. And those are supposed to last longer, but yeah, I think they're doing like for like there.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I just.
Yeah.
need a
Okay.
permit.
is there any communication?
None.
Any more public comment since we last asked for public comment? Nope. Okay. Any commission comment? I just have one thing, by the way. To that point, Jennifer, I would love for us to really watch around the neighborhood for things like that, or sort of like last month with the house on Holland and Lucy. I just think, or even Alec, his application this time, people are 9 times out of 10 always innocent in doing something, just not knowing they're in the district. And I just want to make sure we're ticked and tied in reminding them that they are. And usually it's just as simple as filling out an application. But I think it's so important that we notice those things and keep on top of them. So we have 7 eyes and ears.
Agreed. We've been talking about this for years. And I think when I first came on the commission, whenever that was, that we talked about letting them know at closing. I mean, they have to request their tax. I mean, something goes to the treasurers, to our treasurer, I think, for every closing. I don't know, maybe Nico can jump in.
Goes
So
to our
if you have a
assessor.
closing, she's the assessor, I meant, yeah. So, I mean, maybe if it's in the historic district, we can just put a little insert in there and make sure they see it at closing, because it's happening all the time. It happened, 2 houses sold on my block and it happened twice.
Well, Nico, maybe you can clarify this, but I thought there's on the disclosure, I thought that's where it's noted too, that you're in, it might read, the language might be that you're part of an association. And then that's when it's clarifying that says it's a historic district. The last historic district I was in always had it noted on the disclosures, but I don't know if that's the case here.
I bought 2 houses in the district and I never was notified. I mean, I knew I was in the district, but no one ever said anything to me at the closing. So I'm just saying, as a city, we could just have the assessor's office, when they send whatever they have to send over for the closing, that we could include a
Good idea.
notice. It's something that we have control over. That way you're not going to have, oh, I didn't know. Well, you did know. So, and I'm not trying to, it's not a big deal.
I
but
think,
yeah.
I think for the closings now, they don't get anything from the assessor's office or the treasurer's department. They look it up online and print the report. So
Hmm.
I don't know if it's on there or not.
The good news is I have just this month, I had two different local agents call me and ask me
Mhm.
if a particular property was in the district or not, because they wanted to make sure their buyers knew. Or as they were getting ready to list the property, that they listed it and could tell the other agents that. So that's good. I think also is the more we're known as commissioners about town, that sounds so fancy, commissioners about town. The more people can ask us and we can advise them on that too of yes, it is, or no, it's not. But I think your point's well taken. I wish there was a way to sort of trigger that notification.
They're a new taxpayer on the rolls. So don't
Mhm.
we know that when there's a new buyer buying a piece of
We usually get that information back from the county anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks after the closing.
well, why
So,
don't we just send a little information letter out and say, hey, you're in the district. You need to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, it's not that many properties. It's not that many closings.
no, I would just have to set up a way that I could get that information. I think I can get the assessor to run a report for me every month when she does a new deed.
Sure.
Why
Just
not?
just a suggestion.
Yeah, I think that's a really good suggestion, and I think that's the avenue to do it is the yearly tax statement, or whether it's summer or winter or both. Look at the back of it. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I think they just started doing it not too long ago. Maybe I just never noticed, but they have like the leaf pickup on the back of your assessment, and why can't we just do a little blurb on there and remind people? It like either identify the people that are in the district and have a call out or an insert for them, or just put it on there as like, make sure if you're in the district, maybe even put a little map, there's room on there to remind people that they have to apply.
Yeah, it could be generic to your point of reminder, you may be in the historic district. Check with the city offices before undertaking a project, kind of a thing. It could be as simple as that.
I mean, Alex, completely innocent. He had no way, and he didn't close on the building, so he would have never gotten it from his realtor. Like, how would he have known?
Well, yeah, his landlord didn't tell him. So.
No,
Yeah.
his landlord knows. He has other historic buildings, so yeah, I think that's a really good idea, Jennifer, to have that be the mechanism through the assessor's office, because everybody gets something from that office.
Right.
And we have to do a special mailing.
How do we close that loop? What's our action on that? I'm not sure how to.
Let me look at the mechanics of it and see what is the best way to do it. It's possible to do. It might be as easy as on the front of the tax bill, are you in a historic, yes or no? It might be that easy
to
print on the tax bills, but I would have to check with our programmer to see if they could do that or not. And that may be a way. When the deeds come in, I don't know how many deeds we get in a month, probably about 15 to 20 for the whole city. To sort out which ones are in the historic districts, really not the responsibility of the assessor. So maybe she could just copy me on her changes. I'll just have to look at what the mechanics are and get back to you and tell you what we decided.
Okay, I just made a note of that for our next meeting for our commission comments. So we'll circle back on our next meeting.
Perfect.
I have a question if I could.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I'm new to this commission. Do we have something that shows the boundaries of the district?
We do, it's on our website.
Okay, it's on the website?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, I should have just gone there, Cindy, when I asked you that earlier this week. I forgot about that, so it's a good question. Any other commission comment? If not, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Nico, Garn, and is there a second?
Garnet and who?
Second, Jennifer.
Jennifer?
Okay.
Okay, assume no discussion. So all in favor signify by saying yes. Garn,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Nico,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
and me is a yes. Motion carries. Thank you all. Appreciate you all joining tonight. Glad to have a full quorum. We'll see you next month.
Thank you for coming at the last minute. It was a very busy week, but we got it done.
Awesome. Thank you, Cindy
Thanks.
and Aaron.
Good deal.
Appreciate it.
Hi, guys.
Everybody.
Night, everybody.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.